There is a voice inside your mind that never seems to stop talking. It comments on your choices. It judges your mistakes. It compares you to others. It reminds you of past failures and worries about future problems. Most people know this voice well. Psychologists often call it the inner critic. The inner critic is not entirely bad. In its original form, it developed to help us avoid danger, learn from mistakes, and improve our chances of success. But somewhere along the way, many people's inner critic became far too powerful. Instead of offering guidance, it became a source of constant judgment. Instead of helping growth, it created fear. The strange thing is that most people automatically believe everything this voice says. If the inner critic says, "You're not good enough," they accept it as truth. If it says, "You'll probably fail," they treat it as a prediction. If it says, "Everyone is judging you," they rarely question the evidence. Yet if another person spoke to us this way every day, we would immediately recognize the behavior as unhealthy. Why then do we tolerate it from ourselves? Part of the answer lies in habit. Thoughts repeated often enough begin to feel true. The brain becomes familiar with certain stories and starts treating them as facts. Over time, the inner critic can become so familiar that we stop noticing it altogether. We simply assume that its voice is our voice. But awareness changes everything. The moment we observe a thought instead of automatically believing it, a small gap appears. Within that gap lies freedom. You are no longer completely controlled by the thought. You can examine it, question it, challenge it. The naked mind begins by asking a simple question: is this thought actually true? Not emotionally true, not familiar, not comfortable, but objectively true. Often the answer is surprising. Many of our harshest beliefs are based on assumptions rather than evidence. The inner critic says, "Nobody values your work." Reality says some people do. The inner critic says, "You're too old to change." Reality says people reinvent themselves at every age. The inner critic says, "You always fail." Reality says your life contains both failures and successes. The mind naturally focuses on negative information because it evolved to detect threats. But survival and truth are not always the same thing. A balanced mind learns to see both: the challenges and the possibilities, the weaknesses and the strengths, the failures and the growth. The next time your inner critic speaks, do not immediately silence it. Listen carefully, then ask, "Would I say this to someone I love?" If the answer is no, perhaps it is time to speak to yourself differently. Because the voice you hear most often throughout your life is your own. And the quality of that conversation may shape the quality of your entire existence. The goal is not to eliminate the inner critic. The goal is to stop allowing it to become the author of your story.